Kia ora, ni hao, and hello. Welcome to the Cherry Journal podcast. I'm your host, Camille Yang. My guest today is Ellen Chen. Ellen is a good friend of mine, and she's the co-founder of a lifestyle brand, Sapiens. With a background in biomedicine and bioengineering, Ellen also serves as a science communicator, connecting with a broad online audience in China market. In today's episode, we talk about Ellen's business, Sapiens, tips on healthy living, her live streaming experience in Chinese market, and empowered mindset. We hope you enjoy the show. Welcome, Ellen. Welcome to my show.
Thanks for having me, Cami.
We did 2 episodes in Chinese before, and one of the episodes was the most popular and most listened one. We talk about Lex Friedman and Milan Kundera and so many different topics. And so I think today would be honored to have you on my English podcast. Then we just chat about lifestyle and culture diversity between the East and West. Would you mind giving us brief introduction about yourself? Tell us about your background in biology and how did you become who you are now?
Sure, yes, it's my honor to be here chatting with you. Kia ora, everyone. Greetings from Auckland. This is Ellen Chen from Sapiens. I'm the co-founder of the brand Sapiens. That's the main thing I'm doing, the main business I'm doing at the moment. So, about my educational background. So, I received my Bachelor of Engineering back in China. And I was majored in bioengineering. It was, if anyone wonder what it is, it's just half biology and half engineering. I guess it's a pain in the ass. It wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy one, and obviously it's not an easy major to get you a good job. So I decided to keep on studying, but transferring from engineering to something I'm more interested in, which is biology. So I came to New Zealand for postgrad studies. I've done some postgrad courses, postgrad dip, postgrad search, and then I received my master degree in biomedical science from the University of Auckland and specialized in cancer biology, and which is my absolute interest back that time. So yeah, that's my educational background.
Mm-hmm.
It was during the postgrad study that I came across with some nutrition and sports science courses. So just to earn the points, just to earn the points. But I found it quite interesting because it's different from what I thought that
Mm-hmm.
there's a disease and we try to cure the disease. But with nutrition and with some sports science, that you realize there's something upstream of the diseases, like from clinical nutrition to support disease treatments, and also the nutritions in diabetes and just basic nutritions. They have a role in disease preventions. So
Mm-hmm.
this is like opening a door for me. It's not something I consider as a career path back then, but it's like planting a seed in my heart that okay, so there's more than just curing the disease. So there's something that like diabetes and cancer. The more you study about them, the more that you realize they could, to some degree, be prevented. Like there are so many things contributing to that, and I'm not saying all of that, but some of that you can not absolutely preventing that, but to reduce the risk of that. So it's all about lifestyles and the environment factors that we talk about. This gives me the like the sight of separating the environmental factors from the genetics that I thought disease are all about genetics, but then it's environmental factors as well. It's a complex set of factors. I didn't realize, but then now I look back, I think there was a report that actually changed me without me noticing. It was the second expert report. The name of that is Diet, Nutrition, Physical Activity, and Cancer. So it's like a linking a your lifestyle to cancer. It's a global perspective report done by the World Cancer Research Fund and the American Institute of Cancer Research. So it's a very important report. It summarizes some of the nutritional, some of the your lifestyle, and some of the environmental factors that you probably didn't even notice before. They rated these factors from highly convinced or seems possible. So they rated these contribution of these factors to cancer risks. So that was a mind opener.
Aha moment for you.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, I didn't like. I know cigarettes are bad, alcohols are bad, but it turns out some other, or say you didn't notice, but body fat is something affecting cancer as well. So there's a linkage between maybe between diabetes and cancer, and also some red meat. It's not like high risks, but it contributes a little to that. And also not sure if you if I'm not sure if you know this. There's a plant that people chew. It's
槟榔.
I don't know the
Okay.
name of it. It's called 槟榔. Let me look into it. I just realized 槟榔. It's something, and then there's also a thing that is how people drink the yerba mate tea. It's not the tea itself; it's how they drink it in hot water. That will cause you another cancer as well. So these lots of things, and the list of these factors, and it got me wondered. You know, what if some of the cancer patients they knew about this 20 or 30 years ago and they started to do something to prevent this? Could they be saved? You know, I started to wondering this. It's just like a small idea in my head, but back then I was still I was still looking for some career path in the academic field. You know, because
Yeah.
that's what you study for. Right? You want to become a scientist. But it was my it was my master project that defeated me, and I had a painful time writing my thesis. And I was like, is this what I'm good at? Or is this the path I should choose? And then, because I was never a straight A student.
We are Asian. We always get
You
A.
know, no, I'm Bayesian. I'm Bayesian. Yeah, I always get like B or B plus
Okay.
at the most. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes I get A minus, but I'm not a straight A student. I don't got a feeling that I can contribute a lot in this field, and there are so many talented people in this field already. You know, and so I try to think maybe can I maybe work in the pharmaceutical industry, but then I realized there's not much opportunities in New Zealand unless I want to go overseas. That's so when I chose my career path and between maybe getting a job in some industry or maybe continue with this and do a PhD and then like listing all the pros and cons and my own capability and also the painful the painful memory from writing the thesis, so, you know, and doing the experiments in the lab, and that all got me into so you need to just get a job and build a career there. So there's a field of the pharmaceutical nutraceutical as well. So get it to build a career in this field and instead of getting a PhD. So yeah, that's what I got into the nutraceutical industry because that's what New Zealand was famous for
Yeah.
the
All the
natural supplements, the dietary
supplements.
supplements. Yes, it was back then. It was like a rising industry, and yeah, that's why I got into the nutraceutical industry. So I work in the supply chain
Okay.
and also the NPD department later on. So I got to know more about the ingredients, the raw materials, and how you formulate these products, and most importantly, the cost of them.
It's gonna be
the,
cost a
you
lot,
got to know,
right?
yeah, you know the cost, like what ingredients are actually expensive, how to formulate your product to be like more profitable. So this is what I've learned in this industry. And there's another important decision that I've made, which was because I'm working with stable income, and I have a regular working hours. So from nine to five, or sometimes six, yeah, 9 to 6, and the fact that I was turning 30.
Uh-huh.
It was like the last few months of my 20s. So these factors combined together, I've got the money, I've got the
Yeah.
leisure time, so I became a gym goer. So that was the most important decision I've made for myself before I
Yeah.
turned 30. So it was just with the concept that no, I think I should do something. And New Zealand naturally got the environment to encourage people to go to the gym. I mean, Les Mills is doing a very encouraging thing to people to join for people to join the gym. They've got the group fitness. Even I didn't heard of the group fitness before. I was brought to the gym by my friend. So this was I'll say the most important switch, or like it opens a larger door, because now I myself got into the,
Yeah.
say, healthier lifestyle. And with my background, I started to think, how could these products actually fit into someone's life for pursuing a better health? And as a user myself, because now I have a demand. With this demand, when I look for the suitable products on the market, especially for protein powders, I couldn't find any that I am happy to use, like on a daily basis. I was told I need that, but I couldn't find a product that satisfied me. That is a turning point. Well, you didn't know that until, like, maybe you look back and then you will notice that
Mm-hmm.
that was the turning point. You become a user, and a user with the knowledge of the background and also with the demand of a good product. So these things just naturally add together. So I was thinking, now I have the access with some of the ingredients, you know, with some of the ingredients, and I have some, like, with some of with the flavorings, and now I know what I need for the nutrition part. Can I try to make things for myself?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't for, like, for business. It was like, can I make something for myself? Can I make the protein powder? Like, is there a better protein powder that suits people like me who are lactose intolerant?
Yeah.
That was the
That's
main
me.
issue.
Yeah.
That was the main issue,
Mm.
because majority of the protein powders I tried on the market, they all gives me protein protein farts.
Yeah, true.
So, because I know that I noticed that I might be lactose intolerant, so
Mm.
I was looking for something pure.
Yeah. A lot of Asians got this problem.
Yes,
Yeah. So
yes,
so for me, yeah, so we need that.
yes.
But
It's
back
not.
then I didn't find anything.
Maybe it's fine for the Kiwis, but for Asians, that if you might not notice this before. So when you see other people using this protein powder, and you go to try the popular one, it doesn't suit you, you
Yeah,
know.
I even got a protein poison, need to go to hospital.
Oh my gosh.
Because I'm such a tiny one and I drink the dose for adult, grow up adult guy and
Oh.
plus the lactose intolerance. Yeah, I was
Oh.
like,
Oh
shit.
damn. Oh damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But anyway, back to you.
yeah. So that was the turning point, I would say.
Mm.
And also it was back in that time I met my business partner. It's very important as well. It's the third third critical point.
Yeah.
So because she's got a business mind, I should say.
Yeah.
She's got a
No.
business mind, and she could turn ideas into business.
Mm-hmm.
It's really different when you have a good product that you find it really good, but how are you gonna put it onto the market?
Mm-hmm.
How you position that? What's the price that you're gonna sell at? These are the things that I would not thought about because I don't have that mindset or the business mind back then. I'm learning from her now, so just gradually learning from her. She's very good at it. She's a brilliant mind. So now we have ideas for products. We notice that there are girls like us, Asian girls, who lift weights or who wants to look better and who got this need for some sports supplements. But what they can find on the market maybe are all for different groups of users. So they're not specifically for us. Maybe we have maybe our own need preference on the flavoring as well. So now we
Yeah.
have an idea. We turn into the business. That was the start of our own brand. It's called
Mm.
Sapiens.
What's the meaning behind why you pick up this name, and what's the mission you want to
I don't know.
achieve?
It just naturally came into my mind. I think we should call it Sapiens. I think it means a lot. It's a name that could get lots of meanings. The most important one is I I want people to
Mm-hmm.
notice that we are all sapiens. There's only one Homo species left on this planet, and we might have some differences,
True, true, true.
but we
Yeah.
actually have way more in common. I
Mm.
mean, physiologically, way more in common than differences. So this is something that we tend to bring people together with what we have in common as a Homo sapiens. Also it was a thank to Yuval Harari,
Ah, yeah, he wrote the book,
the book.
Homo
Yeah. So
sapiens.
if you tell people that we are Homo sapiens, I'm not sure if you watch this episode
Hmm.
from Friends, when Ross introduced the when Ross introduced the it was Homo sapiens or something when he introduced the study of on Homo sapiens and Rachel and Joey were sitting down there listening to them and laughing on the word homo.
Oh, okay.
So previously, not much people noticed that species-wise, we are we are just one species. We will maybe emphasize a lot on skin colors, on countries like nationalities, but we are actually just one species. So this is
Mm,
to emphasize that we are all sapiens, and we focus. The brand tend to focus more on the basic need as a
yeah,
sapiens, like without any
yeah.
like
Mm,
sociological, without any like other factors, but back to the basics, like what we need as a Homo sapiens, the nutrition we need, the exercise we need. This is why I think the brand name Sapiens could mean a lot. So that's why we chose that. And also maybe a maybe a final reminder before we get into the digitalized world, the digital world.
mm. Yeah, upload our thoughts and ideas to the
Yes,
cloud.
the metaverse actually
Mm,
the conversation
yeah.
between Lex
Oh, Lex and Mark.
and
Yeah.
Zuckerberg
Uh-huh.
that surprised me a lot
I
in the
know.
metaverse. I
Yeah.
know,
When I
yeah.
listened to that
I
episode,
wish we could
yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
When I just listened, I was like, okay, whatever. But when I watched the video, it's like,
Yes,
what are you guys doing?
yes. Well, you can't tell maybe just by the
So
video, you can't
real.
tell that they are actually
Mm,
thousands of miles away.
yeah.
Fortunately, probably the nutrition and physical health is the last thing that we can ditch
Mm-hmm.
before getting into metaverse.
Mm. We need a good
We still need
body, yeah, to
it. Yes, we
last
still need
long
that.
enough. We can go to the next
Yes,
step.
yes, we can do lots of things in the digital world,
Uh-huh.
but we still need something
Yeah, physical
to
body.
neutralize ourselves. Yeah.
So, there's a very different beauty standard between Asia and the Western
Hmm.
country. Before I moved to New Zealand, I thought, yeah, I need to look very pure white, so skinny. Yeah, so it's such a shift for me because now I do CrossFit. A lot of my Chinese friends they couldn't understand like why do you want to build muscle and get toned, but I feel like I'm more healthier and more happier than ever before. Because before I always follow that Asian beauty standard, so I starving myself, and every time I got my period, I was like, oh, such a painful thing. But since I joined the group fitness, less meals, and now I do CrossFit, I never had any day I feel such a painful during period. And from my daily life, I just feel so energetic. How did you make this shift? Because you grow up in China and you also know the Asian girls, they all like that kind of beauty standard. But in Western culture is more, yeah, different.
It's actually correlated with what we are doing as sapiens. It's correlated because we started with supplements and functional food, but it's during the process of like during the cells, we noticed that we have to keep explaining that why you need this product, and we notice
Mm,
lots of Asian girls, they don't realize they don't realize they need us, even they are going to the gym, they're gym goers, even they do exercise, so that they don't realize that they need nutrition, not necessarily building muscles, but they don't realize that they need nutrition to support that. And also, like you said, the target, the the body image target between Eastern and Western, I won't say hugely different, but there is a difference, as I experience or as I can
mhm.
see. Even I study bioengineering. It's something that I'll say I'm an engineer, because I got an engineering degree. I'm an engineer, and I focus more on how it works and how it perform, how the system perform.
Mm,
So this is what I focus on, and that's how I evaluate my body, the appearance or the functionality of it. That's why I started going to the gym, because I think I feel something. It's not a disease, but you just don't feel energetic,
yeah.
like you said, not energetic, and the pain. That's something that uh, pushes me into the gym. It wasn't like I want a flat tummy, or I want to slim down
Mm,
my thigh. That wasn't me. It's only because I was most of the time I don't reckon as I don't think of myself as you are a Asian girl, Asian woman, that's what you should do. That I don't limit myself with that. So that's a reason. That's one of the reasons that I don't give an F of how others think about my body image. But it
yeah.
is an issue in China and for Asian girls. And the more we sell our products to Asian girls, the more we notice. So instead of saying that you should gain some muscles, what we try to do is you can be slim, but at the same time very athletic. There's some the endurance athletes. They're very slim, but they're also athletic, right? So you could be slim, and there are many types of healthy body types. So if we can't change that, if we can't change the mindset, they want to look slim, can we change the way they pursue the body shape? That's where we found what we could do. It's
Mm,
along with the products, we could do content and education. I remember talking to you like 5 years ago, that we were sitting in a
yeah.
cafe in Auckland. I told you the next step of Sapiens is education,
Mm,
and and now we are doing that. A lot of Chinese women are facing the criticism
yeah.
um, from, I don't know, from
Hmm.
from the internet. Every time you post a photo, people will say that your legs are
Yeah. Look
big,
so
or maybe
fat,
your
blah blah.
tummies are
Yeah.
out,
It's
or like,
very toxic environment.
yeah, it's the only acceptable body image for even for celebrities is skinny and white.
Mm, yep.
I don't understand why you have to look white. Yellow is a good color.
Mhm.
It's skin color. It's
Yeah.
the only acceptable, it's the only popular body image, but it's changing now. It's not just because of us, obviously. It's because of the lots of people who have seen the world, enjoyed or grown up in the environment without such of body shaming. So they came to China. They telling people you don't have to do this. You don't have to be like that. So it's the information, the
Yeah, open the door to
yeah,
people.
communication
Yeah.
that opens the options for for those girls. So that's the situation in China. But what I what I think there's something
Yeah.
I'm quite concerned as well in, not maybe not in New Zealand, but from social medias in the Western countries like I'll say American, yeah, from social media information that body positivity has become something that doesn't allow people talking about the body size. So it's become something else. So in China, it's like you are there's only one body type to follow, but now it's opening other options. I would say one downside of that is people now tend to look. They know that they want a athletic body figure,
Mm-hmm.
um, but the image that they pursue is from,
Mm.
say, a IFBB pro bikini athlete, and so it's another type of body image that, so it's just shifting from one body image into another. You know, it's like a, but the point is to have differences, to allow difference. You know, but it's getting better. It's other options coming in, but some people are taking a new option as the new standard, and which I don't think is the right way to do. But that's why I think the Sapiens community is so important, because we keep telling girls that we keep telling our members that within the range, with a base of a health, with a healthy lifestyle, with a base of a good health, you can look whatever you like. You don't have to look like a bikini athlete. You don't have to look like a bodybuilder, a IFBB pro. You don't have to grow big muscles if you don't want to. Slim is good. Slim is not wrong. It's just pursuing the slimness with the wrong method is wrong. So it's not the body size, but body type itself is wrong. But on the other hand, on the in the East, in the Western society, it becomes like you can't even talk about losing weight or cutting your waistline. It's becoming something so sensitive.
Very
Yeah,
extreme.
something so sensitive, and I think it's time. It should be separating what
Yeah.
is the scientific health suggestions from
Mm.
the some body shaming, because it does it is a personal choice that you want to be or not, but it could be that lots of people didn't realize the um, the harm
Mm-hmm.
or the risk
Yeah.
factors or the risks they are facing, or maybe they are looking for help, but it was covered by the voice of being body positive. You know, I'm not a sociologist, so I can't speak too much on this topic.
We will be
All I'm
cancelled
saying
if we
is,
speak too much.
all I can say is there is a so-called standard. It was
Mm.
because it's based on so many studies that we found, not we, but scientists found linkage between a a overweight situation
Yeah.
and with some diseases. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
higher body fat is linked with cancer risk. So maybe many people don't realize this. I think there's no, it's not um, either or, right? I think we can have it both. You could be happy about your own body,
Mm-hmm.
but at the meantime, you could do something to make it healthier. there's no conflict. So that's something I think in the Western society that not bothers me, but I think it's something that we could talk about or we could discuss about or pay attention to when we talk about the body imaging or the body positivity. So that's what Sapiens trying to do though in China, is um, to introduce body positivity in a in a healthy way in a healthy way. So yeah.
The Sapiens Club, you wrote a lot of educational content, but I know how hard it is to turn scientific papers into a kind of a casual or easy to understand language. How do you like no? So what's your process of absorbing those hard science papers, then turn it into a public, easy to understand knowledge to your members?
Okay, so you want to know my secret recipe?
Yes.
It's no secret. It's just what I've been trained to do during my master's, my postgrad studies. That's what I've been trained to do,
Mm,
to read papers and to summarize them and to write reviews and evaluate and write some reviews on that. So this it's what I've been trained to. So it's I won't say it's easy for me because I didn't. So when someone asks me about a topic, or when I realize people are discussing on a topic, but they see there seems to be some confusions in there, so I will do research on that specific topic. For example, should you do fasted cardio, like how long should
yeah.
you be fasting for, or say should you build muscle first or lose fat first, or things like this. And then people ask during the in our community that you will realize people are still confused about these concepts, and then I will do some scientific research on this, mainly on um, the research I use mainly were the systematic reviews or meta-analysis. These are not sure if I should say this is the highest
Mm,
level of evidence. So it summarizes all the related studies. So the scientist has already summarized something for me. All I need to do is just read what they've done and but found some other similar um, systematic reviews and put them together, and are they in what they have in agreement, and what is still controversial. So I summarized that what we know from what we don't know yet, and what we know, and then also maybe I will introduce some suggestion of guidelines from the
mm,
from some official associations, and then combine them together and to answer the initial questions. Answering the question with questions, say what it is, what the evidence now is saying, and what should we do.
sure.
So it should all turn into a practical suggestion.
Hmm.
That's the purpose of that, and that's the purpose of us building the community of sapiens as well, is
Hmm.
to transferring the scientific studies
Hmm.
into a more practical advice that
Yeah.
we could apply to our daily life. Some are still at the early stage, and it's not something that you can use as a practical thing. Maybe the only effort I put into, but besides doing the research, is to finding the linkage. I remember there was one topic I realized people talk about a lot is do you lose muscle if you do cardio?
Such a common question. Yeah. Mm.
Will you lose muscle if you do cardio? So it's like it's like a question that when you see the question, you don't have like a scientific idea on that. So I did some research, and then so it what I put into this
Hmm.
article is the first is the concept. So I try to explain the concept of losing muscle. That's what I try to answer first. So there's a difference. There's a fundamental difference between making less profit margin and having an actual financial loss. So that applies
Yes.
to your muscle as well. So there's a difference. You are not gaining as much muscle as you wish, or you are actually losing muscle. It's different. One is not having a maximum gain, and one is possibly a disease, what we call sarcopenia. So that's the loss of muscle. So that's the first thing I addressed. So that's not something that you can find from the from any scientific research, but that's something that you need to transfer from a a question into a scientific question, and then what I looked for is, so what I'm looking for is, would cardio affect the effect of your resistance training? So that will make it like easier, like that makes the topic easier to adapt to a scientific idea, which is concurrent training, that you train cardio and strength together. Then that's where I could find scientific evidences to address the question. So it takes a process. It takes a process to translate to translate a common question into a scientific question, to by maybe defining some definitions, like clarifying some definitions, and then finding something, how to address the question in a more scientific way. That's how you can find evidences for that, to support that, or to prove that, or to prove it wrong. So that's the part my effort was. I didn't do the research. I didn't do the studies. I didn't do the studies. I'm not the one who did the search of multiple RCTs and then putting them all together in the systematic review. I'm not the one doing that. I'm just adapting their results and comparing their results. But I'm the one translating from daily questions to scientific questions, and then translating it back. Like, so what you can pick up from these the result of these studies, and they're telling you that if you separate them apart with at least 6 hours, then the effect could be reduced. And if you're separating them with 24 hours, then there's got a minimum effect, as long as you're doing resistance training. I mean, if your time of cardio affects your time or efforts on the resistance training, then it's not the cardio that affects your gain. It's the fact that you reduced your resistance training effort that affects your gain. But again, affecting your gain does not necessarily mean creating a loss, having a loss. So that, I think that kind of clarifies this question and idea. And that was I remember talking to, like, after writing this article and telling them these findings. I remember a lot of them will find it very, very useful. And now every time if anyone asks, can I do cardio after, like, or can I do cardio if I want to gain muscles? Because girls gain muscles for like mainly for glute, for hips. Yeah. So we still like want to gain muscles. And when someone asks that, and then someone else would tell them that you just need to separate them for 6 or maybe 24 hours, that you can still do some cardio, just don't be too much. Focus on what you're trying to do. And lots of girls who's even during the muscle gains, that they still do some cardio trainings, that because they know this is good for their cardiorespiratory health. So it's got it all comes to the pros and cons. And once you understand the underlying mechanism, or you understand the facts, that it will help you with your choices on your training, or maybe on your daily nutrition. So I think that's something that I found very rewarding. All your hard works turned into their practical guidelines, and they will benefit out of that. That's very rewarding.
True. Yeah. I feel like you are like a Chinese version of Andrew Huberman.
Oh no.
He's also doing the kind of a similar thing. Is to turn the very hardcore science studies into a daily knowledge so people can take away from his podcast and put into
He
practice.
inspired me. I have to say, he inspired me a lot on how to like translating science into daily useful tools for better health. The difference is he is a scientist, and I'm merely just a science communicator, and or
Yeah.
trying to um, summarize what scientists has
Mm-hmm.
have done, and just doing my part translating that to the audience. So just maybe trying to copy what he has done for his audience. That is my goal as well. And I what I appreciate is I learn through this process as well, because I don't have all the answers to all the questions, but through the process I learn as well, and that's very important
Mm-hmm.
as
Yeah. Well.
whether you're a scientist or in any fields. If you only depend on the knowledge that you've learned before, then it's gonna run out one day. So you need to keep on learning. So yeah, so I learned a lot from Huberman. I remember I was actually one of the earliest translator of his podcast.
Yeah, I remember like 3 or 4 years ago when before he turns so big.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it was
remember.
after his talk with Lex, round one or round two, and then I started to summarizing and translating all the
Mm,
notes I took from his podcast, and then
yeah.
into Chinese, and then just posting onto my social media. I stopped doing that when I realized there are people taking his videos and then just translating that with AI,
Yeah. Save
which
you a
is
lot of
like,
time.
yeah, that saves a lot of time. And I was like, okay, so yeah, so they don't need me anymore. But
Yeah.
and I could spend the time on other topics that maybe the Sapiens girls will be
Yeah.
more interested in and from our daily lives. That's
Hmm.
where I got the questions from, to summarize
Yeah.
from their daily questions. I think it's really good to have a community that you will directly link to your users or your members. You know what they're doing every day, the problems or the question they're facing every day. So that's very it is like a, so how does it, it's communication. It's not one way of information giving.
Mm,
That's what I found very that, that's the rewarding part of this business.
yeah. Apart from using written contact to communicate with your member, you also do a live streaming.
Yes,
I know so many people are very curious about how do you become a live streaming host? Like, what was your experience like?
we have two different accounts now. One is for you know, the live
Mm-hmm.
streaming selling, like sell products with the live stream. Um, my business partner is running that account, that she hosts a live stream every day on a daily
Ah,
basis.
okay.
Every day, it's very huge amount of work that she selects. So she started that to um, at the beginning is to sell Sapiens products. Um, but then since you're doing that, and why not just make the best out of it, you know?
Mm,
So we selected some other products as well, not competitors, not direct competitors, but products that Sapiens girls Sapiens girls from our community, they need, not just for supplements. They probably need healthy snacks, you know. The most important thing is gym gears, outfits, skincare. They all relate with not a healthier lifestyle. It's just it's what you need in your life. So that's what. So we have an account that's running live stream on a daily basis, um,
Mm.
introducing and selling different products to not just our members but to all the followers. So so the members I'm talking about are the core members of Sapiens, but we still got lots of followers for on our account. And the live streaming I'm doing is on a weekly basis. And yeah, I copied that from Human Lab on a weekly basis.
Yeah,
It's simply because it requires more time to prepare.
sure.
I'm not a say I'm not a famous scientist with years of experience and with lots of knowledge in my head, so I need to prepare
Mm.
before that. So it's like a um, live stream that because I wrote articles before, and then we run a like a seminar of the
Mm.
particular topic
Yeah.
um, in in our community. But you know, talking in typing, it's low efficient. It's not efficient at all. So I was like, why don't we just move it to the live stream
Yeah.
to answer these questions and to address the contents of the article, of the research I have just done, you know, or and maybe we can talk about some new topics or new trends on the social media. So that's why we started to do a like a knowledge sharing live stream. That's at the beginning it was for our members to better understand the concept, the diet, the exercises for in the Sapiens community, and also to better understand some articles that I've written, the concept, the some misunderstandings or some misconceptions or some questions,
Yeah.
and now it became a regular weekly live stream to answer questions and also to explain concepts that
Yeah.
scientific concepts. So that's how we and I found it's a very efficient tool to communicate with the users, not just the members, but but the users. It's a big internet out there. There are lots of people out there, but with the proper content, you will attract proper
Audience.
users,
Yeah.
the audience. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I remember I was invited by you at the New Year about cultivate a habit.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, a diary, writing a journal, can be record your daily input of food or doing exercise. Just yeah, cultivate some good habit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I love the members of from your community. They are like very positive attitude and eager to try different methods to improve their life quality.
Yeah. That's what I appreciate. Because our
Mm.
members, it's like you're gathering a group of people with the same value. It's very hard. So we build it up from doing fat
Mm.
loss camps
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in 2018 because that's the that's something that attracts people. But then you'll realize that some people come and go, but some people will stay and listen to you. And these are the people that we value. So these are the became the core members, and we started with just a few dozen, and maybe
Yeah.
into a 100, 200, and now we have nearly 500 core members of our community. Um, but we have nearly 100K of followers.
Oh wow, it's
It's like
amazing. Yeah.
on the edge of our member community. So
Wow.
that yeah
Yeah.
that's what I appreciate is that they share the same. They stay because they share the same value, and then because
Mm-hmm.
we share the same value, and we grouping together, we are stronger. We re-emphasize on the importance of this core value of sapiens, and then we expand that to more. And the best time I have from this community is when a member tells us that I introduced these method to my family, and now they gain a better health, like better improvement on blood glucose, better improvement on the fat content, and also is some girls will tell us that
Mm-hmm.
people around her changed their perceptions on her, even her husband. So like the closest of her family, they changed the perception of her. That they noticed that she's
Yeah.
been more independent, stronger, more energetic, more positively thinking, more passionate about doing her own things, and very persistent on gaining like on training, on exercising. And so that's something very rewarding, and that's, yeah, I think that's the most valuable thing of this community, is we having a core value, and then people, um, more people with the same value will join us. It might be slow, but
Mm-hmm.
it's tight. That's what I think.
Yeah, I joined one of the camp in 2019,
Yeah.
and I did the intermittent fasting and doing daily exercise. And also my cousin saw my transformation. So she lives in China, so she kind of influenced by those different beauty standard.
Hmm.
But ever since she noticed my transformation, and then she started to doing exercise as well. I find it's very rewarding. You don't need to tell people what you do. You just show them, okay, I changed, and they found, oh, you're becoming like more happier and more energetic. I want
Mm.
to follow your path as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my mom likes to watch Summer's, your co-founder,
Hmm.
live stream and buy some nutritional products, which is great because there's so many fake or dishonest products in nutritional
Yes.
world, so it's very important to find a trustworthy person to follow than just buy from
Yeah.
them.
Reputation is something we value the most
Yeah,
for building a brand. Sometimes
true,
it might
true.
get in the way of making some profit, but it's something that if you
Yeah.
lose, that you lose the
Okay.
brand.
So curious to know what's your
Yeah.
daily routine like? Because you are like an entrepreneur and you need to take care of your health. How do you balance your time and energy?
I'm still not quite comfortable of calling myself entrepreneur. I'm just someone doing what I like,
Yeah.
and hoping others will like what we do.
Yeah.
So but but there's still some work I need to do on a daily basis to run the company, and also to run the community. So my role is still in the research and development, and also and also technical director. But previously, I do daily workout plans for the community, and now it's passed on to other trainers, that the trainers were trained under our system.
Mm,
That was something I was very proud of. That because it's not just me. It,
okay.
it's um, it's me, and we trained some trainers within our system to who can implement the idea and the concept to help others. And so, yeah, so I passed that on, and but now I am more focused on getting new like courses running. Some are short term, some are long term, and some are like the courses that we train the trainers, or the, like always said, the teachers, the trainers. My
Yeah.
main role is like running this part, and my daily routine is not much of like a routine. I basically do whatever I need to do, but on a daily basis, I have to finish my reading of the day. That's very essential. I look into different scientific topics. Sometimes just randomly, sometimes sometimes just randomly browsing on the internet, saying, "Oh, what's new? Let me see." And sometimes it's just when a question pops in my mind, and I was like, "Yeah, that's a question,
Mm,
and why?" And then I will start doing some research. That could take like a whole morning of that because sometimes
Yeah.
it's random without a purpose. But sometimes if I got more other things to do, then I would just limited that to 1 or 2 hours. And then there's a my quite critical or essential for me is my daily training. Sometimes I train in my home gym. Sometimes I go to the gym. It's just to keep my eyes open for outside the community. So to see other demands or possibilities out there. So that's quite important for me. But I normally train at night. So it's like I have a whole day to deal with what I need to do on that particular day. And all the time from um, from finishing my
Mm.
um, article reading to starting my daily training, these are the time allocated for work. So because I don't think the reading part is a work. It's more like a habit. It's more like keeping myself sane and updated. That's something that I enjoy. So that's just part of that. And after training, sometimes I have meetings, but sometimes I don't. And if I don't, then that's my leisure and reading time. Sometimes listening to a book or just browsing on the internet for random things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and sometimes
Yeah.
scrolling on the phone to to see what's going on the social media and to sometimes to surprise myself or shocking to get shocked.
The trending topics on Weibo is just
Yes,
mind
yeah.
blowing.
Oh. Yeah, and sometimes just writing something to debate with,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
just
yeah.
just to sharing some facts or just to telling others that this is not the case, and it could be very it could get you sometimes get very stressed from these. I don't get stressed from work. I get stressed from social
Yeah,
media and from responding to others.
yeah. I think you should learn from Joe Rogan, just not look at it or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's what I told you the other day. Like never
Yeah,
look back to your poops.
yeah,
Yeah, so
true.
that's just my daily routine. So like
Yeah,
job, gym, reading in science and reading in just random books. That's basically my daily life, and feeding my
yeah.
cat as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's I think last year we set up the goal to read at least one Russian writer's book. It's such a. I feel so proud of myself. I finished one because it is so hard to read.
It's easier if you use audiobooks. I have to say audiobooks saved my ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When I'm driving or like when I'm just doing random things and with you don't have to think too much, then it's the best time to
Mm-hmm.
listen to the book. So I highly recommend audiobooks.
I normally just listen to podcast, and I still feel like reading a paper version. I will remember the content longer. Yeah, it really depends on the individual's habit.
It's a
Yeah.
luxury now.
Mm. I know.
Reading a paper book,
Yeah.
it's a luxury now. Not just because it's expensive, and it's also because it's the time that you have to be fully concentrated.
True.
And I know it's different, but it's kind of a luxury. I have to say it's a luxury.
Mm.
And it only happens when I go to the beach and enjoy the sun bath. That's the time that I could read some paper books. Uh, Most of the time, I'm just listening to the books.
Cool. And do you have any advice or suggestion for people who wants to build a healthy lifestyle?
Instead of sharing some tips, I think maybe it would be better if I share some
Mm-hmm.
mindsets that probably could save some could help people to make their own decisions
Mm-hmm.
because it all comes to personalization.
True, true.
Everyone is
Yeah.
different. We're living a different life. We have access to different resources. So instead of telling you what to eat, what to buy, maybe it's better just sharing some mindsets that I found quite important to not just myself but also to my members, and I hope will be useful for the audience. There are three of them that I summarized. So the first one is every effort counts. It sound like maybe it sounds lame, or like, oh, you don't say, but it's that people normally maybe they don't realize that every effort counts, because sometimes they probably will be told that you have to do the training in this way, 3 sets of this, 5 sets of that, and then
Mm-hmm.
do that, and there's a whole hour of training. You've probably been told to
True.
um,
Yeah.
to do the perfect training program, or it's not suitable for everyone.
True.
It probably That's probably something that's stopping people from going to the gym. They might think that if I only have 10 minutes, then the training, the program might be wasted, if I only do it for 10 minutes. But what I want to address is every effort counts for health. Um, for example is, when we were recommended by taking 8 to 10K steps daily. There are some recommendations that you need to take 8 to 10K steps every day to stay healthy. But then there are some recent studies found out if you're older, then 6K is enough. And there are there's another study found that the minimum steps you need to take to make a change in your disease risk is 2 to 3K. Or if you want to improve your health, it's 11 minutes of walk every day. When the World Health Organization tells us to work out 150 minutes per week, not many people can do that. And some might think, if I can't do 150, and if I can only do 100, then the time is wasted. Then I'd rather not doing that. But it's not the case. Even just 11 minutes every day of walking is good. The minimum, you just walk 2 to 3K, it could make a change. And even a recent paper is saying that doing 5 flights of stairs, just climb five floors, could make a difference. It's like, say, every step counts, and the scientists are trying so hard to tell us every step counts. Just start doing something, because it's not just because how many steps you've walked, or it's more about the every minute. Just remember this: every minute you exercise, it reduces or deducts 1 minute from your prolonged sitting.
Okay.
Because it's not the exercise that makes a huge difference. It's the exercise plus the reduction of your sitting, the sitting time, because that's what harms you. And then now you take that time and put that into just simple walking, or just taking the stairs. Yeah, it still makes a difference. And also there are some recent studies on exercise snacks. There's a term called exercise snacks. The definition is some vigorous, like super high intensity exercises, lasting less than 1 minute, and that's one single bout, just one less than 1 minute, about 30 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds, and you do it multiple times per day. So say three to four times per day. It's called exercise snacks or activity snacks, or some call it VILPA, vigorous intermittent lifestyle physical activity. It's a long name. Some examples, like chasing the bus. That is a very good
Okay. Yeah.
exercise snack. So you have to
Yeah.
run, right? You have to run fast,
True.
or like just catching
Yeah.
the metro train, just catching the metro train. You have to run fast, and you have to run down the stairs, or maybe run up the
Yeah.
stairs, or just running up or down the stairs at during your
Yeah.
lunchtime, or maybe just do some air squats or burpees in your office. These are all counted as exercise snacks. So doing in a total of 3 to 4 minutes per day, each time it's less than 1 minute, and you do 3 or 4 times every day, just different. Or maybe you just play with your kids, that you just chase them. So that's also an activity.
I
Three
see.
3 to 4 minutes per day adding together, and then 3 to 4 times a week. So
Mhm.
that will help you with your cardio respiratory fitness.
True.
So it's something that could make a change. I'm not saying doing these or saying I'm not saying like doing these will make you a Olympic medalist. No, no, definitely no. You need to put efforts, more efforts in there. But the efforts you put in, you're gonna gain something out of that. It's not wasted. And also for muscle gains as well. When you think of I don't have the time for 3 sets. Can I do 1 set? Yes. 1 set, you do 1 set, you have 1 set of gains. But if you do 3 sets, you get 3 sets of gains. It's just the level of the gains that's different. But it doesn't mean that if you're only doing 1 set per day, you're not getting gains, or you're losing muscle. It's definitely not the case. At least you're having a good habit on exercising. This could be a if this is what you can if this all you can do, then this could you could get
Mm.
benefits out of it. But maybe the
Yeah.
best maybe we can also take this as a initial point. So maybe you
Mm.
build up a habit, and then you will become more prone to exercising. You're not afraid of doing exercising anymore. You have the experience, you have the basic levels of exercising. And the most amazing one, I have to share this. The most amazing one is a recent study that I've read. It's a 3 second bicep curl, just 3 seconds every day. Just do one rep, but one rep lasts 3 seconds because it's an eccentric to just it's like lowering down your arm with control, but holding some weight on your hand. Lowering it's an eccentric phase. So 3 seconds of eccentric bicep curl. Um, just 3 seconds and 3 to 5 times per week into lead led to an increase in your muscle strength and muscle size. It's an increase. I'm not saying a huge increase, but even just a 3 second workout every day counts. It's a starting point. Once you've done one every day, you probably think maybe I can do two today. It's a starting point. Just don't get the mindset if I can't be if the training can't be perfect, then it's not worth it. No, just do the damn training at whatever level you can do, because every effort counts. That's the first mindset. I think I hope that will encourage more people to start doing something.
Reminds me about when I was working in New Zealand. Last mile just downstairs of my office. So I do a half an hour HIIT training.
Hmm.
I think just those half an hour added up help me to build this habit to become a gym goer. Because before I was like, nah, I don't want to go. But yeah, every like using this lunchtime break,
Hmm.
half an hour every day, slowly.
Hmm. And 30 minutes HIT is not just it's not just like a small thing. It's actually a very high
Great
intensity.
cardio.
Yeah, it's a very good
Yeah, I love
training.
it. Yeah.
Even just doing
Hmm.
6 minutes of it, like there's a study showing even just doing six
Hmm.
minutes of it is very beneficial. So do what you can do,
Yeah,
and you will get what you've done,
true.
out of what you've done. Yeah. So
Hmm.
and it kind of links to
Yeah.
the second mindset that I want to share is um, I got this quote. I quoted this from Flexible Dieting by Ellen Aragon.
Hmm.
It is from the recent books I'm reading. So it's a
Mm.
quote: "What you can sustain in the long term is more important than
Mm.
what is supposedly ideal." So it just
Yeah.
emphasizes on what on the thing I've just said. So thinking about building a habit, a a long-term thing that you
Mm.
can sustain. And it's
Mm.
not just the exercising part. It's also lots of people are facing
Mm.
difficulties in diet. Yes, especially in fasting. Everyone knows
Mm.
that fasting is good for you. They know 16:8. Somebody might want to do
Mm.
prolonged fasting. I don't recommend doing that on a very regular basis. That's not something that you need to build up as a habit. But 16-8 is something that you can do on a daily basis. This is it was firstly introduced by Dr. Panda. Um, and he's got a really good book on the circadian code if anyone's interested. 16 hours of fasting might not be suitable for everyone because we have different social clocks. You know, some people have kids. They have to get up early and they have to have dinner with their family. They can't do 16 hours. If you can do it, maybe you can do it for a week, but then you'll realize that your life is more messed up than getting better. So in this case, then even just do it 14 hours or just do a 12-hour basics will be better than not doing it at all. You know, some people would just say, if I can't do 16, I'll just quit. You know, then just do something, pick a pattern that you could sustain. And goes and fits in well into your life. That is very, very critical, and that's what we advised our members as well. I mean, 16-8 is the ideal situation. If you can do that, perfect. If you can't do it, you're not losing anything because you gain what you can do from what you can do, right? You build up a sustainable lifestyle that you are happy with and it fits in well with your daily life. Then that is more important than having a short time period of perfect lifestyle, but you can't sustain at all. So it's kind of still the same concept as what we just introduced with diet. There's the third mindset that I want to introduce is when we talk about fat loss, we always talk about eat less and move more, you know. But I wish, I hope everyone could think about eating better before thinking about eating less, because you're probably you're not eating too much. You're just eating the wrong type of food that makes that adds the calories up. So it's the most important thing is to reduce highly processed food. So rather than eating less, telling yourself, I can't eat this, I can't eat this much. Rice is bad for me. Bread is bad for me, or like meat is bad for me. Maybe look for the highly processed food from the diet and kick them out, because these type of food would change your mind. It will makes you feel hunger when you should not. So these are the foods that changes the link um, in your neural network. So you are not yourself anymore. You know, when you kick them out and focus on food itself. I have to quote from the famous mantra by Michael Pollan: "Eat food, not too much, mostly plants." So it's eat the original food, not the highly processed one, not too much. Once you cut the processed food out, you will notice that you're not eating too much, because actual food is very, very satiety. It makes you full, right? And mostly plants is not, it doesn't mean that you can't eat meat. It just means that you are limiting your meat intake, especially your red meat. So this is a very I think it's a very good summary of healthy eating. So the point is not, don't criticize yourself for eating like for eating what you need. You know, when you think about I should eat less, you are criticizing yourself even when you are eating what you actually need. So think about eat better. There are foods that there are foods that don't deserve that don't deserve you eating them. Poor nutrients in there. They're high fat, high sugar. It's not something that you should feed yourself. You know, feed yourself with food, eat food, not too much, mostly plants. That's something that we could, or that's the eat better mindset instead of eating less.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I remember my personal trainer told me, don't eat anything your grandmother couldn't recognize, which is yeah true because back then like 100 years ago maybe they don't have that much processed food, so highly processed food. Yeah.
Yeah, the problem with highly processed food is it's not about those processed ones that you took things out. You know, like protein
Mm,
powder. Protein powders is like you took the carb and the fat out from milk or from beans.
protein.
It's like the
Mm,
process is just taking something out and making it like more like pure with only one single nutrient. These are not highly
yeah.
processed. The highly processed ones are the ones that mix high fat and high sugar together. It's there's no to my knowledge, I have to say this, to my knowledge, there's no food in nature that is high in fat and high in sugar at the same time. And highly processed food are putting things that are not supposed to coexist together. So that's the problem of highly processed food. Just don't think about like protein powder as processed food or like your olive oil as processed food. They're just taking things out. So that's extracted food. It's not highly processed. So yeah, that if I from my experience, like once you reduce these type of food, if you do have any reduce this, you will see a change on your body. You definitely, because that's something if your affecting your appetite and also affecting your metabolism. Um, even with the same calories, I have some members asking if limiting calorie is the key, the base of like calorie in calorie out. If calorie deficit is the key of losing fat, can I just eat a bag of potato chips every day? It's like 600 to 800, right? 600 to 800. And I was like, theoretically, if you're eating 600 to 800 of calories per day, you'll probably lose weight, but you can't sustain that diet habit. Back to the second mindset, it's not sustainable because it's the ideal situation that you are only eating 600 to 800. You're only eating one bag. But the reality is, if you eat one bag today, you're probably eating 1.5 bag tomorrow. You can't stop. On day 3, you're feeling so hungry that you might add another bag. So you're accessing your daily intake. You're not staying in the 600 to 800 because these type of food will make you feel more hungry. You can't sustain that. It's theoretically it is calorie, but it's not the calorie that your body actually needs. Because calorie is calorie, but nutrient is nutrient. There are 3 different types of macronutrients that you
Yeah.
need. You can't live long with
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
imbalance in any one of them. So it's like 3 columns that's holding up your health. You don't want any one of them to collapse,
Yeah.
right? So and if anyone want any more information on this, I highly recommend the book Why Calories Don't Count. It's basically saying this this concept that even just the same amount of calorie, they do different things to your body. So stop thinking about eating less. Think about what you eat. Eat better. Yeah, your body deserves better food.
Yeah. I remember I read the news like some people eat McDonald's every day,
Mm,
then they lose weight. But later it's not sustainable. You
no.
can't like eat McDonald's every day. Although you just reduce the calorie input, you probably lose weight during these three
Yep.
months. But after that, you came back.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not. Yeah, there's junk food. It's not that too nutritional, and yeah, it's not sustainable at
No,
all.
it's not supporting your homeostasis of your metabolism. It's not
Mm,
so it's not
yeah,
sustainable. So yeah. It's also said in the book "Why Calories Don't Count" by Zhao Yao. He addressed the question is healthy eating to some point is actually a privilege, because McDonald's or chips, or if you go to the if you go to supermarkets in New Zealand, chips and ice creams are much cheaper than veggies. They're selling one capsicum at $5, but with that amount of money, you can get yourself a bag of chip and a big pot of ice cream. So health is actually, to some point, it is a privilege, and yeah, it's not something that we could change yet. But that's what I it's also what I want to do for girls or women in China. There are some things that we could do, like some cheaper substitutes, and also veggies in China is very it's not that expensive. Yeah, so that's what we can introduce to them. And yeah, it's a good thing that McDonald's and KFCs are not cheap in China. But in New Zealand, it is an issue. It is an issue in New Zealand. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Is there any other topics we haven't covered you'd like to share with my listeners?
I can talk a lot on diet and fitness. But once it comes to business, well, maybe it's not what I'm very good at. I'm still learning to learn. I'm still looking for a balance between passion and purpose and profitability. So I'm still looking for the balance. I'm still learning to adjust myself to that situation. So maybe just more about what I have learned during the journey so far. What I've learned, what I kind of get the feeling. I kind of get this feeling
Mm,
that there are things that you can change and there are things that you can't. And especially after the pandemic,
mm,
we want to be successful, of course, but it could be a result of um, a series of fortunate things, fortunate events.
mm,
It doesn't necessarily because of a good decision
yeah.
or a hard working. It doesn't mean that decisions or hard working is not important.
Mm,
It's just to realize that there's still things that you can't change, like the black swan events, so like a pandemic or so there are things that you cannot predict. That's
mm,
what I've learned from here. So what you can do
yeah.
is ask yourself what I can still do at this point. So even making a good decision doesn't necessarily guarantee a good result. So what you need to do is maybe make another decision from the resource that you have from based on the current situation. Make another decision, and most importantly is to put your thoughts into actions, because thinking is not getting you nowhere. Actions is something that gets you further. Like I have to quote this from Huberman. Yeah, since we talked about this, I have to quote this from Huberman. It was one of his earliest podcasts. That's the time I heard him saying this, and that's the time I think he is a wonderful scientist and a neurologist. So more specific, he said, let me find this. He said this: for all humans and all species, the sensations, the perceptions, and the thoughts and the feelings that we have in our lifespan. So these are the main functions of the nervous system, and none of that is actually carried forward, except the ones that we take and convert into actions, such as writing, actions, or engineering new
Mm,
things. So put your mind into actions.
yeah.
You could be making good decisions or making bad decisions, but there will be a result, and it will it will on a level it will be based on luck. So just do something. If you don't do it, it won't happen. It's very encouraging. I learn from this, and then I put my thoughts, even just small things, small thoughts, and into research, into articles, and into my live stream. I think I think if you don't express that, if you don't put it in, change that or converting that into something, you just let it slip, that then it never exists. No matter how you feel about yourself, how knowledgeable you feel about yourself, you're not making a change in the real world.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
putting that thoughts into actions, I think it is probably the one thing I can share from
From
just
your
learn from my
experience.
journey. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I resonated a lot when I first listened to Tim Ferriss' podcast. I thought, oh, that's a
Mm.
good way to communicate my idea to the audience. So I just
Mm, mm, mm.
did my first podcast episode back to, I think, 2017 or 2018 in the car without any recording service. When I listened back to that episode, I said, "What is that? It's so bad, full of noise." And I was just talking random stuff about movie. And then I noticed that Joe Rogan's first episode is even worse than what I did. I said, okay, so everybody, yeah, you just make an action, and yeah, you will grow one step, one step.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I learned a lot from you as well. I learned a lot from you. Is that you write things, and you actually evolve from your actions. So that's the extension. That's the most important part. Is you have to take the initial step, turning things into actions, and then just refine it. And not maybe not necessarily that it will turns out good or as you wish, but
You enjoy
it,
this
it will
process.
always be there. You'll never
Mm,
know. You'll never know, you
yeah.
know. Or maybe in some maybe something that you've done 20 years ago suddenly
Yeah.
become something
True.
popular, 20 years later. You'll never know. But if you didn't put your thought into that action 20 years ago,
Yeah.
that you will never had this
True.
chance see the result of your action. I think that's very yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If there's any one thing I have to share is from from my
Yeah.
through my journey of this entrepreneurship, that will
Mm-hmm.
be something.
That's great. Yeah. Let's review back probably in 1 or 2 years to see what we become next. Hopefully, we can do a podcast in person.
Yeah, yeah. In
Yeah.
metaverse, in
Yeah.
metaverse.
That's super
Yeah, we
cool.
get the headsets.
Great. Thank you so much, Ellen, for sharing.
Thanks for having me, Cami. I miss you, to be honest.
Yeah, same. Yeah, hope to see you next year. I think
Yeah,
it's a
and
big
train
house.
CrossFit together. I think
Yeah.
we should do some opens and die together.
That's a great friendship to be.
Kill each
Yeah.
other. That's the friendship, eh?
Yeah. Let's do
Yeah.
it.